Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third session of the Tales from Ellseworld, a little mini campaign I'm running to give the players that missed a session an opportunity to catch up both EXP and action-wise with the rest of the party. As you can see here, I'm joined by a couple of lovely players. We'll introduce them in a momentito, and then I will do a little recap of the Tales from Ellseworld. I won't do a full Ellseworld recap here because A, that would be a long time to do, B, we're actually going to be streaming Ellseworld tonight, and all of Ellseworld, as of about 2 minutes ago, is also on YouTube, so if you need to catch up, you will have enough time after this completes to watch a quick episode, and then you'll be totally up to date, so I don't need to do that. But alas, on with the show. We'll introduce my lovely players, starting with the person who is digitally on my direct left, I guess. Stage left? No, stage right.
Is that me in the middle?
It is, yes.
I can't tell because everything's flipped from my webcam. Hi, I'm Jams. This is my fault because I missed a session, so I have to do this one instead. I today will be playing, as I always play, Rodeo, the Dragonborn gunslinger. She's a cowboy, she's a bounty hunter, she's rooting, she's tooting, and my God, I certainly hope she will be doing some shooting.
We all hope that.
Fingers crossed.
And also we are joined by, once again, returning from the nether.
Deep. It's dark up here in Scotland. We haven't figured out power yet. Hey, my name's Ferrets, and I'm the substitute player for Heroes Grove. And today I'm pairing today's session with a nice decaf coffee. I'm hoping that the bitterness of the coffee will help bring out the sweetness of the people who I'm playing with today. And I am playing Thrall, who is Artificer Genasi, and they got messed up, and now they're ready to mess up some more, and hopefully not get too messed up. Please, Elliot.
So, yes, it's me, it's Elliot. I'll be running this session as it's my world. It's called Ellseworld. If you can't work out why it's called that, you should really see a doctor. Before we crack into the session, before I do a little recap, I've got a friend here with me in the room. Say hello, friend.
Hello, I'm Friend.
It's the friend.
Hello, friend.
Friend. Jamie.
Hi.
I'll be in the big Ellseworld stream a bit later, but for now I've not got my flash suit on, so I don't want to be on camera. I'm here to tell you about Patreon. We do a Patreon. If you give us money on it, £5 a month, you get to vote in every single time we play D&D. That vote gets you into the poll to give someone an advantage or disadvantage, and another person a nat 20 or a crit fail. There are lots of other bonuses you can get through following us on Patreon, including drawing a nice sketch for the wonderful Jams can draw. This week, Jams, they's getting themselves a nat 20.
You got a nat 20.
Ooh.
And Joe.
Is that for just this session?
Getting themselves a disadvantage.
So the nat 20s for this session. There'll be another vote for the big Ellsworld session later on.
Okay, so I might as well spend it on something completely stupid in this session.
You can spend it on something completely stupid in this session.
I will absolutely
I've
be
done
doing
my bit, so I'm gonna see you cool cats later. Have a fun session.
Thanks, buddy. See you soon.
Thanks, fleshless body. We'll be seeing Jamie in their flesh form later on. But as I said, I'm Elliot, and we're going to get on with the stream. Hello, everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining. So, last time in Tales from Ellseworld, Thrall's master, Kelthar, sent them on another dangerous quest to pick up an adventurer and go and collect an item for them. This time, it seemed to be a stone from the moon of Zadkir that had fallen long ago to Ellseworld, which had become a holy item in a church of Saloon. This church had actually been built around this the meteoric landing of this moonstone. After revealing this, he also told you that this temple had become visible to him after a recent event where some Sharan priests, enemies of the god Saloon, had taken over the church for their evil, nefarious means, and that through doing this, they'd actually allowed him to perceive this moonstone, the protection that was usually around this church, was no more. So it was your job to go in there and get this moonstone for your master. You had a short conversation with him about how you would go about doing this. He gave you some magical chalk that he said you could draw around the stone that would allow it to be transported back to his base of operations in Doomspire Keep. And he also suggested some companions for you to take along with you. He liked the fact that Appleby didn't ask too many questions on your last mission together, so suggested it would be a good idea that to bring him along once again to set the ball rolling, also with the type of enemies that you'd be facing, these shadowy creatures that have this howling, piercing wail. He thought it might be a good idea to bring a bard along with the ride, for the ride, and it sure was, as it turned out. Now, before we jump into the session proper and jump back to the town of Stonefell where you were sent, as you are just outside this church, we're going to hop back in time a little bit, back before you left Doomspire Keep, as you are here chatting with your master, Kalthar. He's just brought you over to one side, in his kind of main chamber, where there's this large set of windows to one side of the chamber that kind of look out across the ocean and then eventually across the continent of Ontrath. But as of right now, they are completely shuttered as you begin to stroll towards them with Kalthar. I just gotta move my headphones for a second there to get my costume on. Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
There we go. They've got to get in character, you know.
I didn't know you needed costumes for this one. I would have got the cowboy hat and cane.
There's still time.
Oh, fuck. Hold on.
As he puts his arm around you, a kind of rare physical connection you get with Kalthar, as he is being dressed once more by this mage hand that is putting on a few clasps, buttoning up the last few buttons of his coat. He strides towards this window with you, and as the two of you stroll together, these shutters just begin to draw back into the wall, just with his thought alone, no action on his behalf at all, as you see this moonlight vista of the ocean before you looking out across Ontrath. You see a few bright specks, one speck very far in the distance that you can see is the Golden Tooth itself, shining even from this distance. As you look across this vast landscape, he kind of draws you in close and says, "And now, my dear Thrall, the next part of this will be a bit more delicate. Oakwood, he's got his uses, but they are limited. Once you have gained access to the church, there will be significant forces ranged to stop you. I think you will need someone with a bit more fighting spirit, shall we say. Another member of Oakwood's party, a friend of his. I've been watching their group, and they seem capable and eager. But I feel like they may need some more persuasion." And you see as he hands you two things at this point. This bag, which appears to be full of these lightly glowing blue kind of balls of what appear to be this silver metal. Just from a cursory glance and with your artificer knowledge, you would very quickly identify these as some kind of silvered bullet. Just kind of lumped in this bag together, as well as a scroll, which you can see has, just from kind of holding it, you can see appears to be a piece of a map that has been rolled up and also has some writing on both the inside, which you can't quite read, and on the outside. On the outside, you see that it reads, "I can help you find other things too," and then it is signed Kalthar. And he hands you these two things, says, "When they show up, Give them the scroll and tell them to open it. And I think they will come around to helping you. If not, well, you're doing a good thing. You're defeating an evil cleric who is trying to take over the church of a good god. I'm sure you'll work something out. Alas, my friend, I must go. The Sanguine Order waits for no one, not even me. And you see, as he steps forward through this enormous pane of glass, as if it was not even there, and he is suddenly on the other side, the glass still between you and him. He blows you a kiss, and then you see as these monstrous bat wings begin to just kind of crack out of his shoulder blades, as he has just stood on thin air at the moment on the other side of the glass, and you see him drop out of the sky and begin to glide through the night, as you see this enormous bat form fly away from Doomspire Keep, as you are left in Kalthar's study, just yourself and Lunette in the room as she kind of like peers at you and... At that point, we are going to cut back to the present day. Black smoke surrounds the both of you as, for the briefest moment, Thrall, you are outside the church of Stonefell with your hand on Appleby Oakwood's shoulder. You see as the smoke begins to coalesce around the two of you as these runes light up on the floor one after the other. You see... as close as you can see with his soily visage, as surprise on Appleby's face, as he begins to disapparate before you, and replacing him is a completely different form. Your hand actually raises up about a foot as it goes from being at where Appleby's shoulder would be to this larger form's shoulder. This bronze dragonborn in this leather duster and other kind of rough clothes appears before you, a much larger, broader figure than the one that just left, as you coalesce Rodeo before you here. Rodeo, what you see is in the Undermountain, as this black smoke begins to coalesce around you. You can't see your party members anymore. You do get this very brief vision of this soily green aura passing almost alongside you as this smoke coalesces around you. And you get the feeling you were very close to Appleby for a moment there, as you pop into existence in this new, strange place. You're immediately met with some more light than you were used to, being that you were just in the Undermountain, but still this dark, gloomy, oppressive cloud covers this small town that you appear to be in, no longer underground, but above the ground, outside this cylindrical, very tall building. You can see a village stretches out to one side, seemingly built around where this church has been, this perfectly circular cylinder just extending up before you. You can see an open stone door to one side, and standing right in front of you is this heavily armored figure, which this brown kind of smoke is just puffing out of, and then begins to almost recede back into as this glowing blue stone in their hand, which you recognize as something familiar.
I was literally about to say, does it look like another glowing stone that we've encountered in the past?
It looks very similar to the transpositioning stone that you got off the Gallants, but smaller, more compact, and you see just generally the stone appears to be more refined than that one.
Okay.
The one that you guys picked up is very rough and large. This one is smaller and, can fit, it would fit into the kind of a closed fist as you apparate into the village of Stonefell with this armoured figure before you, in this armour that looks almost like it's been burnt and has been burning, as this smoke begins to not stop fully, but definitely it's no longer coming out so much that it's concealing the area, as the both of you kind of stand for a breath. You're both here. Is there anything either of you would like to do as Rodeo appears in Stonefell?
Rodeo immediately has her gun out. I mean, she probably did already because we were about to have the fight.
Yes.
Black. So she's probably still ready for that fight and is now ready for this one.
Cool, yeah.
Just kind of looking around herself. She's definitely not where she was 2 seconds ago.
Definitely not.
She felt the soily vibes of a strange, dirty little man. And just kind of like not really at anyone in particular, just kind of looks around and goes, "Okay, Appleby, very funny."
You can have a
now what?
You can have a point of inspiration for that. That's good.
Of course she's going to fucking assume. He's the only one who's vanished so far. She's going to assume it's an Appleby thing.
Okay. Thrall is looking looking bloodied actually, and is like grasping their sides, and like seeing the gun and holds up the hand. He's like, "Oh, are you a friend of Appleby's?"
Well, friend is a very strong term. I am acquainted, shall we say. Is this anything to do with him? Is this one of his little games?
He has been involved, but this might... can you allow me to grab something and it might explain it?
Yeah, all right. She takes a step back.
He Thrall very slowly pulls out the kind of map that was given and hands it over to Rodeo. And then once Rodeo takes it, puts his hand back up.
Cool. You also, Thrall, as you are feeling around in that pouch, kind of that has your stuff in it, you feel something else has been put in here. You're not sure if this appeared with the with Rodeo or if this had been on you all along and you just hadn't noticed. But you feel the clink of a potion in your pocket as well as you pull out this map.
Okay. I'll leave that there for now, but also pull out and hand the map.
Cool. Rodeo, you take this.
Yeah, tentatively.
Cool.
I'll put the gun back in the holster for now, just because this guy's very clearly injured and hasn't immediately tried to like punch me.
Yes.
So this situation is weird, but she wants to see where it's going.
Cool.
So she'll take a couple of steps back, but like, yeah. So she'll be keeping one eye on.
Cool.
Thrall.
This person on Thrall.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I haven't introduced myself yet, but yeah.
That's fine, we can do that.
You do so. You both actually kind of take a step away as you realise you're both in the doorway of this church. And both of you quickly, before you kind of step away, you do notice this figure, this large figure in this dark black armor, which seems to have spikes on the shoulder pads, on the full-faced helmet that he is wearing, just spikes jutting upwards, and this kind of purple robe that he is wearing over this plate armor. You briefly get this kind of sight of this guy as the both of you move out the doorway of this church. Rodeo, you've got this map in your hand now. You can, on a cursory glance, you can see written on the outside, it's currently tied up into a scroll with just a piece of nice ribbon tied around it, this black ribbon. And it says on the outside, I can help you find other things too. Signed Kalthar in this very, very beautiful handwriting.
Hang on one sec, I'm writing this down.
No worries.
Could I, whilst Thrall, I imagine, will lean up against the wall when they can and slowly and like in a way that is trying not to be threatening, just grab kind of this potion and check it.
Cool, yeah. You very slowly draw out this potion. The both of you, as you're keeping an eye on Thrall, Rodeo, the both of you see this familiar red liquid as you find a healing potion in the pocket.
I drink it immediately.
Cool. It is a greater healing potion, which I believe is 4d4 plus 4. But I will double check that. It is indeed. So yeah, you get 4d4 plus 4 hit points back when you drink this. The way I run potions as well is you have two sips of that. So there's 2 sips worth in the jug there. And yeah, so are you going to open up this little scroll? Sorry, what was that?
She hasn't opened it yet, but she's read to the front. She's like, is this you? This, what does that say? I can't read that fucking squiggly handwriting. Kalthar? Is that you?
No, I am Thrall. This is the person I work for, and Appleby has been on. I just realised that wasn't the accent. Has been on these missions that my master has asked for, and He's been on one before. He may have disappeared previously.
He does that a lot.
Okay, well, he's my master has just been enlisting help of others, and paying for their help. So that's who it is. My name, by the way, is Thrall. Yeah.
Rodeo, nice to meet you. Is that why I'm here? Your boss wants something from me?
Yes. This church has had an artifact that my master wants to try and rescue from the grips of this cult that has come in and grabbed it.
Which cult would that be?
What was the cult again?
This is a Sharan cult. They worship the god Shar, and they came in. You learnt from the halfling that you met in this town last time, called Lina, that these warriors of Shar came in disguised as clerics to Saloon, known as the Dark Moon Order, and eventually wormed their way in through shadows and subterfuge to taking over the town, and then eventually took everyone prisoner as they begun this what appears to be this dark ritual. As you see Rodeo for the first time, as some of this is explained to you, as this almost pillar of darkness is actually emanating out from this church through the roof, and you see this darkness is actually creating this gloom of clouds that is currently obfuscating any sunlight from hitting this town at all. It's so dark down here that it's almost like night, and especially around the church you notice that it is darker around the church, and sort of like it seems to be where these dark clouds are coming from. Certainly the darkest clouds are right above you now.
Thrall will also be conveying this information whilst, like, necking the entire potion, basically.
Sharon, they took over the town.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Rodeo doesn't fuck with weird, ominous, dark things in the sky. She's gonna open up the map and see what this stranger's boss has to offer, I guess.
Cool. You open up this map, and just from a brief look, you think it's somewhere to the southeast of the Golden Tooth, somewhere in some mountainous areas. You immediately sort of recognize the area because it was an area you traveled nearby not too long ago. But your focus is drawn away immediately by a small drawing that is to one side of the map. That is a very detailed drawing of the item on a necklace that you gave away to a dragon not too long ago. Necklace and all. You see it drawn as if it was the day you gave it away, drawn there. And you can see an arrow leading from that to a point in the mountains that appears to be, and where like a little cave is drawn.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. She's immediately very, very interested in whoever the fuck this guy is and what he's up to.
As you're reading, I'm going to change something quickly there. I didn't drink it, but actually poured the potion into one of my gauntlets, and just don't see any of it come out. It just disappears into it, and that's how. Yeah.
Nice.
After doing that, I was like, I also reach into my pocket slowly and say, "You also wanted me to give you these as well," and I throw them in the floor between us. This bag of bullets.
Cool, yeah, Rodeo, you instantly hear as this kind of bag thuds to the ground, the familiar sound of an ammunition bag just been placed before you. You can see this very faint blue light sort of emanating out from the kind of open top of it.
Yeah, she's going to pick them up.
Cool, you pick them up, and there seem to be these well-crafted kind of shot in here. Most of it is all of it, in fact, has got this pale blue light emanating from it, and it appears to be made out of silver.
Silver bullets. Would I be able to tell from the casing and how big they are which of my guns they would function with?
You would be pretty sure they would fit into the volcano pistol. They would fit into your standard pistol. They'd fit into anything like a standard musket as well, or rifle. You think you could give it a try putting them into the hunk. You're not sure what happens. Silver is certainly a precious metal.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was only crystals, but you can put whatever you want in and hope for the best. Okay, as long as it fits in my pistol, that's what I was concerned about.
Cool. Yeah,
I wanted to make sure they were compatible.
Yes, absolutely.
How many were in the bag?
You have 20 in this bag here.
Times 20.
I think also whilst recovering Thrall's helmet will come off, both the top and the big face cover, and you'll see the face of a fire genasi, who's, I guess if you've seen fire genasi before, you'll see them as like bright orange. But this one, it seems to have like dulled and ashened a bit. It's like their skin is cracked. It's an incredibly symmetrical, and they have an incredibly symmetrical face and are a super, just very like generically attractive looking with some long ashen hair as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything the two of you would like to do? As you're both kind of like Thrall, you're slumped against the side of this church. Rodeo, you're still there with this map in hand. These just picking up these silver bullets. As this darkness does seem to be getting worse the longer you spend out here.
Yeah. So she'll the map tucked into her jacket pocket.
Nice.
The bullets will go in her holster with all of her other ammunition and all her guns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she just kind of looks at Thrall and is like, well, seems like somebody's very keen on getting me on side to do some dirty work for them. So what's the job?
Whether it's dirty work or not, I'm not entirely sure. But what we need to do is get this stone that there seem to be emanating this dark energy from away from the area as soon as possible. And he pulls, and Thrall pulls out the chalk. My master says that if we draw the line around this stone, then they can get it out of the area as soon as possible through some sort of teleportation, I imagine. But we need to expect that there are a lot more shark cultists around, and that they will be not happy with us taking this away.
So we need to do a little bit of cleaning house before you can get what you need. Is that what we're saying?
Well, we need to stop them from... If by cleaning house you mean stop them from breaking the chalk line around the thing, then yes, that's exactly what we need.
All right, okay.
Cool, so
So you know where this thing is?
It's points at the doorway in there.
Cool. So as the two of you stand outside the former church of Saloon, as this dark energy is erupting into the sky, there is an open door before you about 5 feet away. From your scouting of the inside and from Appleby's description of the inside, Thrall, you know that it is a circular room. It's about 30 feet in diameter. The moonstone is directly in the center. There is a figure in the center in this dark black armor that you know from Lina is called Gerhardt. He is the leader of the Dark Moon Order, and you saw last session as he seemed to be putting his hand on the stone and doing some dark magic to it that seemed to be causing this darkness around the town. And also there appeared to be a group of survivors from the village that he was holding hostage in the church too.
Oh, I forgot about that. I explained this to Rodeo. Are you more of a range fighter?
I mean, it's kind of what I do. I got a sword. I can get up real close and nasty if I have to, but...
Okay, well, maybe if I try and get in as close as possible without them seeing me, and then go from there.
Yeah, I can provide cover.
Okay, good. Thrall holds out their hand. You ready for this?
Well, ready as I'll ever be. I gotta be honest. the last couple of weeks have been real fucking weird, and at this point, I just roll with every goddamn punch I'm dealt. So, sure, let's see what happens. And if this entire thing turns out to be a whole like Applebee Mindscape Bard Magic bullshit thing, I don't know. At least make it funny at the end, my friend.
Well, humor isn't my strong suit, so thank God it isn't.
Cool. So, how do you want to approach this? Are you going to stealth in, or are you just going to go in, bust down the door, all guns blazing? What's your move here?
I'm just gonna like try and slowly, even though I think I have, no, not disadvantage, but I don't have advantage on stealth because I'm in I'm in Guardian. So yeah, I am going to try and just stealth in to try and get as close as possible before they notice me, and then see how that goes.
Well, and Rodeo, getting a position near the door, or would you follow him?
Is there somewhere either from outside the building or near the entrance where I have like a good vantage point in, so that I can provide cover if necessary? Otherwise, I will just go in.
Cool. Yeah. So the 3 spots.
As soon as I hear shit breaking down.
The 3 spots that you would have probably, from your kind of knowledge of being a fighter and from hearing the description of this room, that you'd think might be a good spot to be in, would be 1, the doorway. It's a pretty small room, and you'd get a view of the whole entire circular room from the doorway, as well as having cover from the inside. Also, if you went in and just went like 5 feet to either side, there's all the seating is in the round around this moonstone in the center. So there's some pretty hefty stone seats every couple, like 5 feet kind of inwards into the center that you could take cover behind, so you could have the wall at your back and stone seats to your front. Or what was the third? Maybe maybe it's just those 2 actually. Probably the best yet. So by the door or behind the stone seats, you'd think would give you some pretty good cover, as well as a good line of sight to this guy in the middle.
Okay, yeah. If I can sneak in through the door and
Cool.
hubby myself down behind one of those seats, that'll give me like a decent amount of cover.
Cool. Right. So both of you, if you could give me a stealth check, please.
Ooh, first roll of 2023.
Yeah, first roll of 2023. Here we go.
Ooh, what's my stealth?
It wasn't a good one.
The 2023
14.
massacre begins. 14. Okay, and Joe?
8.
8. Cool. So, as you both begin to sneak on in, you see this figure with his hand on this stone, this kind of group of, seems to be villagers of various variety. You don't see any clerics kind of tied up with this group of hostages to one side. As the both of you sneak in, you see this guy in this big dark armor, just with his hand on the stone, as this dark energy is just like seeping out from his fingers into the rock. You see almost like something is infecting the very rock itself, as this kind of like dark energy begins to seep down almost like a liquid across the surface of this moon rock. As the both of you get inside here as well, you do see carved on all the walls this massive relief depicting this battle, this ancient battle between Saloonites and Sharans on the across the moons of Ellseworld, as this moonstone was fell to Ellseworld during this battle, as you see it depicted here. As the 2 of you get your positions, Rodeo, you manage to tuck in pretty nicely behind these stairs. You think no one really saw, you notice. And Thrall, as you kind of go in second, you kind of begin moving, and you just hear this clank as your rock hits one of the kind of stone pillars that you didn't quite notice before, as this priest just looks up from their magic, seeing you immediately as you walk on in, as his passive perception was 13, just spots you as you go on in through the door. And if you could all roll initiative for me, we will crack in. Rodeo, you're going to start this combat hidden, as he didn't quite see you as you beat his PP by 1.
I'm stopping using this dice.
Cool. What's his bonus there?
recap real quick what happened when Thrall went in? Because my connection dropped for a minute.
Absolutely.
I didn't hear anything.
No worries. Yeah, you managed to tuck in perfectly behind your little bit of the seating. You were very stealthy, and as Thrall came in behind you, just their foot caught on a part of the stone they didn't notice, making this big clanging noise. As immediately Gerhardt's head just shot up, looked at them. You see in this kind of crown of darkness, just these two blood-red eyes just looking towards you as he notices Thrall as you come into the room. And yes, initiatives, please.
Okay, cool. So is it this big guy in the armor is in the middle of the room?
Yes.
Did you say that there were other people in the room as well?
At the moment, it's just him and there's about 5 to 6, you think, people huddled to one side, all tied up. Some of them more so than others. Some of them are properly hog-tied. Others are just hands and feet tied. But they all seem to have been, from just a casual look around, dragged into this location in the church. Cool. So, Rodeo, what did you get for initiative?
I got a 17 for initiative.
Nice. 17 for Rodeo. And Thrall, what did you get?
3.
3 for Thrall. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's because you stubbed your toe.
Yeah. I'm too busy, holding my foot.
Too busy going ouchie.
That's it didn't even make any sound. It was just your cry of pain.
Yeah, it was just you going ow.
Yeah.
Cool. So up first, fresh from the Undermountain, is Rodeo. You see that you are hidden from this form at the moment as they have just locked, these two armoured forms that you're with have just locked eyes across this church as you are hidden beneath this stone pew and ready to probably go pew as we head on to your turn.
Right. She was not expecting to have to do stuff quite so quickly. When Thrall was like, I'm going to stealth in and I'm going to do a bunch of stuff and I need you to cover for me, wasn't expecting them to stub their toe. So, but also she's been spoiling for a fight since fucking yesterday at this point. So she's
she's
in for a penny. In for a penny, in for a gold coin.
Nice.
She is. So what's the distance from where I'm to big, scary armored guy?
It's a 30-foot diameter room. It's completely circular in here, and so he's right in the center, so he would be exactly 15 feet away from you, and there would be 3 lots of pews between you and him. So it would be difficult to go directly to him, but you could go 5 feet and then go down the aisle, or you can clamber. Indeed,
I love a scramble.
Yes.
I am going to load up one of the silver bullets.
Nice.
Into my pistol. Hang on, let me just double check. With the volcanic pistol, the other, I assume because it's got a specific item, a specific type of bullet in it, the other effects wouldn't apply?
Probably not, no, you'd think.
Okay, in that case, there's no point using that, and I'll just use my regular pistol.
Cool.
So I'm just going to take a shot at him with one of the silver bullets because I want to see what they do.
Nice. Cool.
That's a 15 before I've rolled anything else. Pistol. 23.
Cool. With a 23, that absolutely hits. You see as this dark armor, usually proof against most attacks, is nothing compared to this silver bullet loaded into your gun. You see this kind of, instead of the usual flash of yellow that you'd see erupting from the tip of your gun, you see this kind of blue flash as this blessed silver bullet hits this guy. When you roll for damage here, you're going to be adding a d4 extra.
Okay, cool. So my pistol, that's a d10. Well, that's a d4, did you say?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ooh, that's tasty. That's 11 plus my dex, 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage. Nice. A solid first hit as you peer up from behind this pew, get your sights on before this guy even has a chance to move. You get a shot off and it just bang, you hear this enormous clanging noise. Everyone in the room kind of looks up and gasps as this combat properly gets into it. Would you like to do anything with your bonus action or movement?
Where's Thrall in relation to me at the moment? I didn't get very far into the...
No, they're about 5 foot to your left and then about 5 foot forward in kind of like an L shape as they were moving down the kind of central aisle that is clear of pews.
Okay, cool. I'm going to hunker back down where I am.
Cool.
But I'm going to keep them, like, in my sights, basically.
Cool. Behind here as well, you'll be in half cover here, so you'll be getting a +2 to your AC.
Nice.
Cool. Up next is Gerhardt. Thrall, you're going to be on deck. Seeing that you are much easier to get to, he is going to run up to you, Thrall. You see as he pulls from his back this enormous sword the blade in the shape of a crescent moon made out of this black steel. As you see this dark greatsword of the Black Moon Order is drawn from the back of this person, holding it easily in one hand. You see as they kind of roll their shoulders ready for this fight. As they extend to their full height, you see that they're about 8 foot tall, pretty well built, just completely concealed behind this dark armor, in almost a mirror of yourself. In a strange way, but much larger, as he begins to stomp towards you, very purposeful, not necessarily slow, but you see these steps as they kind of ring out towards you. Is a very, very firm-footed character. As he gets up within your reach, you are almost stunned by him as he is just approaching you slowly across this church. As he raises up his weapon, he is going to attempt to strike you as you are still holding your foot. So that's going to be not good on his first attack. That's going to be a 7 to hit with the Dark Moon Blade as he just as you begin to snap into action as this figure gets within your kind of combat range, as he swings this sword, a blow that would cut most people in half. You duck out of the way. He's not able to hit you with that. And on the second hit, also going to be a miss with a 15, I believe. As you just dance out of the way of this huge thing, it just scoring a cut across your armor, but not quite piercing. As those are his 2 actions for now. You see, as his bonus action, he raises his hand up, and one of the tied prisoners begins to float off the ground. They fly towards his hand as their throat meets his hand. He grabs them by the throat, raises them above his head, and you see as their flesh melts off into darkness as this goop energy of black light begins to kind of drain down onto their arm. You see as it empowers them, and this purple aura begins to glow around them as they toss this burnt, blackened skeleton to the ground and just look down at you as you're now up.
Seeing that, Thrall pulls their right hand. That is, yeah.
I was about to ask if I could get this guy's number, because he sounded like he had a pretty sexy vibe going on. I've changed my mind. I would like to unmatch on Fantasy. Thank you.
Thrall will pull their fist back, and you'll see as the armor lifts over onto the fist, and electrical thunderous energy surges through as they punch in with their thunder gauntlet.
Nice. Give me an attack roll.
That's a 26.
Nice. That very hits.
So that is that is 9 thunder damage.
Nice. Another hefty blow.
And then as my bonus action, I will set up a defensive field. So you'll see as the armor is giving off bits of smoke as it was starting to build energy for this thunderous smite. It suddenly locks and shifts together in place into an almost plate-like armor form. As I think I gain 4 temporary hit points.
Nice. Is that your bonus action?
Yes, that's my bonus action.
Cool. Anything for your movement? I'm going to Presume not.
No.
Okay. Back up to the top then. Before that, actually, on initiative count 20, you see as this dark energy that was placed into the stone before this combat began, as Gerhardt had his hand on the stone, still continues to trickle down this stone, albeit a bit slower now that he is engaged in combat rather than channeling his full energy into it. Then after that, Rodeo, you are up.
Yes. So from where I am to where the prisoners are, just how much movement would it take to scoot around the outside to get?
You could do that with your 30 feet of movement if you wanted to. You would.
Cool.
You would skirt around sort of behind where Thrall is to do that, but you wouldn't need to get into the combat. So yeah, you could, if you got your 30 feet, you'd be able to get to the leftmost side of where the prisoners are.
Okay. Yeah, I've got 30 feet of movement.
Nice.
So I don't want whatever the fuck he just did, slurp their bones out. I don't want him to do that to anyone else. So I'm gonna put myself in the way.
Okay.
In between fucking big sword, muck armorman.
Yeah.
And these poor flesh beings. So she's gonna scoot round the outside, and then she's gonna take another shot at him from that side of the room.
Cool, yeah, so kind of running around the fight as these two big armoured figures are clashing together in the church. You run around the outside, get to where the prisoners are. Give me an attack roll as you aim at Gerhardt.
Cool. I need to keep track of how many silver bullets I use, but that's fine. 20, that's a natural 20.
Nice. So that will be max both of those damage dice first off, so that'll be 10 and 4 to begin with.
Yes. Where's my 10? That's another 7 plus my dex is 4, 11, 21.
21 more damage. Nicely done. Cool. You see after this hit, this kind of dark ichor begins starting to melt out of this figure as you think with that hit, you might have just bloodied this guy.
Okay. All right. I'm going to... where is it? I'm going to use my action surge. And I'm going to shoot him again.
Nice.
And I'm going to use my natural 20 that the Patreons gave me.
Nice. Double
because I
shot.
like the feel of doing that much damage, so I'm going to do it again. Thank you very much, everybody who supports on Patreon. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much, patrons. So yeah, as you're running around, you pop off one shot while you're running. You skid to a halt in front of these prisoners and pop off this second shot. Both of them hitting their mark perfectly. So another 14 damage plus whatever you roll.
That's another 10.
That's another 10 damage. So 24 in total there.
Yeah.
Nice. Not looking good at all, this figure now standing in the center of this room. You see, actually, as this second shot goes in, they go down to one knee as your kind of Thrall, you've got their sword kind of grasped in your gauntlet as you are locked together in combat there as he's taking these shots from the side as Rodeo comes in. Seemingly your master knew what he was talking about. As we move on to Gerhardt's turn, Thrall, you are going to be on deck. You see here as Gerhardt on one knee, this purple energy still flowing around him from when he absorbed the energy of that person into himself. You see as this energy begins to pulse out from him. And you see as this energy is at first absorbed back inside him, and you see some of the ichor that is flowing out of him begins to slow down somewhat, and then bursting from him, two familiar shapes coalesce out of the darkness as two shadows pour out of his body as seemingly this energy he stole from this poor being has been used to not only heal himself, but summon these two shadows out from the darkness of Shar. And they will be rolling into initiative as well. Cool. You got 3. Yep. Okay. So they will be actually going right after him. But they'll have summoning sickness for the first turn. So yeah, he summons these 2 shadows, and that is going to be his main action to do that. Once again, you see for his bonus action, he's going to raise his hand, gesturing over towards where these prisoners are. Rodeo, you see right next to you as one other begins to rise up from the ground next to you. You hear them. All of these figures are gagged at the moment. You see the kind of fear in this one's eyes, seeing what happened to the last one, look up at you as he begins to rise off the ground. You hear this.
Is there anything I can do, like with my reaction?
Absolutely, you could try and grab him as your reaction.
Try and grab him.
Cool, yeah. Give me. We'll make this a contested grapple check as you try and hold this guy here. Yeah, so give me an athletics check.
Athletics check. Don't actually know what my athletics score is. That is. Oh, it got boosted because I've got the gauntlets of ogre strength. So that's a +5, 19.
Nice, that is a good roll. So this will be against his. This will be a straight roll. Add this person's casting modifier, which is just going to be a +1 for this. What did you get again?
I got a 14 +5, 19.
19. Whew, I rolled a 17. They got a +1 to 18. So you beat it as you dive onto.
It's not impressive.
No, it's not at all. You basically rugby tackle this person as they begin to float, and your body weight is just pinning them to the ground as this bonus action is prevented here. As he kind of raises his hand up and isn't able to bring this person to them, you see the kind of relief in this person's eyes as you're literally like lying on top of them. As we go down next to it would be the shadows.
I'm sorry.
It would be the shadows' turn.
I got you.
But you hear as they're kind of like just between kind of worlds at the moment and aren't able to fully coalesce. Yes, so we move down to Thrall. Rodeo, you'll be on deck next.
Okay, as holding the sword, as they are like looking over with their hand and have just summoned, I'm just gonna, you hear the gauntlets power up again with this thunder energy, and go for another hit with them.
Nice. Hit him with it.
That is 17.
17. Clang! Just you punch, just cannot get through the armor. As you feel like it was close, and you see where you landed this dent in his armor. It almost got through, but just this part of him must be a bit stronger than the bit you hit last time, as you just can't get through the armor with that hit.
Okay, I don't think I have a bonus, so I will. That'll be my turn.
Cool. Nice. Up first, once again, on initiative count 20, you see as this dark energy once again still continues to coalesce down this moon rock and as it gets darker and darker, you think it is covering about 1/4 of the moon rock at this stage, which is about probably the size of you, Rodeo, about 7 foot tall, kind of buried into the ground here. That's initiative count 20. Rodeo, you're up.
Cool. I will get off the poor person that I bodied to the floor.
You see that?
It's all right. I got you. Don't worry about it. And I will kind of like, as I get up, just kind of like, prop them up a little bit and push them back towards all of the others.
Nice.
So they're not like left on their own and vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Very much getting in between them and big scary armor guy.
Nice, yeah. Worked last
just
time.
So that if he tries to summon someone again, I can attempt to grab them. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do what's worked for me so far, which is just keep shooting him.
Just fucking keep shooting him, yeah.
It's worked for me this far. For her entire career, it has worked for her. So she's not going to stop after 120 years.
Cool.
That is a... Where's my pluses? 25.
25 hits.
Is a 25 going to do it, El?
25 hits.
Yeah.
Even with this massive armor, 25 hits. I think you're rolling better than you have in any combat in the main Ellseworld game.
I rolled 3 critical fails in a row when we fought that giant fucking crab monster. Incredibly embarrassing. That's 11, 15.
Nice. Another decent shot of damage. You see actually now, as this takes this character back over the threshold to bloodiness, as their ichor begins to seep from them once again. The healing magic the dark healing magic they put upon themselves last time, seemingly reversed by this hit. Anything else you'd like to do with your bonus action?
No, I've used my action surge and I don't need to heal at the moment, so I don't have anything else. I don't intend to walk up and kick him just yet, so we'll save that for the end.
Nice. Up to Gerhardt then. Shadows, you're on deck. Thank you. Gerhardt will point towards you, Rodeo, and you hear in this dark language that... What languages do you guys speak, actually?
Common, Draconic, and a little bit of Dwarvish.
Okay.
Common and Primordial.
Cool. Neither of you understand this language as he points towards you, Rodeo, and says something. In this dark language that almost hurts to hear as you kind of hear this emanating around the church. Kosef, you are reminded of the Greater Shadows scream that you heard the last time you fought these shadowy beings, this scream that distracted you from combat and other ability checks. Not quite as bad as that, but you do hear kind of a note of that in his voice. That is his bonus action to command them. And then he is going to make his multi-attacks once again against you, Thrall. See if he can actually hit this time. That first one is definitely going to be a hit with a 23. As you see this large scythe-like blade just come down towards you, this dark moon blade. And what's that going to be? 2d. Cool, that's going to be 9 damage to you there. And then his second attack, not good, 8 on the hit of that. So he gets this one into you, and just kind of like the blade just sticks into your plate. He yanks it out, but in the time it takes him to yank the blade out and get ready for his next swing, you expertly manage to get out of the way, being you're quite used to fighting in this heavy armor and knows how it feels to fight in heavy armor and where you need to be to avoid this strike. That is going to be Gerhardt's turn. The shadows are up next. You see as they float from your side here, Thrall, you could take an attack of opportunity against one of them if you would like, as they begin to float on towards Rodeo.
Yes, I definitely will.
Cool, nice.
That's 25 to hit.
That very hits.
And that's 7 thunder damage.
7 thunder damage. Cool, yeah, you kind of, as this thing is going off, you kind of, knowing how to beat these things, you put your fist inside this shadow. This thunder damage crackles out and you feel its form weaken. Parts of it are blown to the winds. It's not quite dead yet, but you've definitely dealt some damage there to it. 7 damage, was it?
Yeah.
Nice, cool. Both these shadows are going to fly on over to you, Rodeo, and are going to attempt their attacks upon you. First one... Rodeo, what's your AC, please? Just realised.
AC is currently 17.
Currently 17, nice. What's yours again, Thrall, as well? I know it's high.
18.
Nice. Cool. So first shadow is, I think going to miss there with a 10. Indeed will miss. And the second one's going to miss as well with a 13. Both these shadows try and get their claws on you, and Rodeo, you feel as they get closer, they are almost sapping energy, not only from you, but these people that are near you, as you kind of stand before in a kind of defensive position in front of these prisoners. You are proof against this dark magic as they try and lay hands upon you, but they can't quite get a good grip on you to drain your strength away. As we go over to Thrall's turn, Rodeo, you are on deck.
I think Thrall again. I think again go for this attack with the Thunder Gauntlets.
Nice.
That doesn't hit. That's a 16.
16. No. Once again, just pang, clangs off the armor.
Let me just check something quickly. I again will use this my bonus action to cast defensive field and gain bonus temporary hit points again.
Nice.
And I'm going to make my way towards the stone.
Cool. With your movement, you can definitely make it there. As you do leave this zone of Gerhardt, he is going to attempt to swing this massive sword at you as he just sort of spins in a circle with this blade held out. See if he hits. That is going to be a 19 to hit, which I believe will hit. Did the defensive field add your AC or to your temporary hit points, did you say?
No, it added my level.
So it added to what? So your hit points or your
hit points? Yeah.
Right. Cool. Yeah. So that will hit with a 19, and then it will be 8 damage as this blade just catches you on the back as you head towards the Moonstone. Anything you'd like to do? Oh, you've done both your actions, I think, there now, and your movement, but you are now up at the Moonstone. Cool. That will have been 25 feet of movement, so you could spend an extra 5 and get on the other side of the Moonstone if you wanted to, but you're not sure.
No.
Okay, cool. Cool. Back to the top is initiative count 20. You see now very close up to the stone as this dark energy again seems to get further down the stone. A little bit more than a quarter covered now as this kind of beam of darkness that is shooting up through the center of the church, up through this glass roof of the church, up into the dark cloudy sky that you can see above you. And where the beam is hitting these clouds, you can see is creating more of this dark black cloud that is just pouring out into what should be a sunny afternoon as this figure Gerhardt stands before you. After this attack of opportunity against you, he points this curved blade towards you and says in this gravelly voice, "I am Gerhardt of the Order of the Dark Moon, and I shall become the avatar of Shah." And you hear that as you reach the stone, and it is Rodeo's turn as you see this confrontation go down. There's currently 2 shadows on you.
So they're within...
They're both in combat range now, both within 5 feet.
Oh wait, actually, I have the gunner feat, which means I don't have to worry about disadvantage.
You can shoot your pistol however you dang like.
I absolutely can. So I will be... I will take a shot at the one, if I can tell which one wasn't previously attacked, I'll go for that one.
Cool, going for the uninjured one.
Yes.
Cool, just give me a perception check.
Okay.
This is a free perception check, won't cost you anything.
Well, that's a 1, so
that's a 1?
They all look the same to me.
Cool, roll me a d4 and tell me if you get evens or odds.
Odds.
Cool. Okay, you go for the one on the right. I'll let you know if that's the injured one or not after this. And yeah, blast away.
I will. All right, that's slightly better than rolling a bloody 1. Although I don't think the AC of a shadow is going to be massively high. That is 17. Nice.
That absolutely hits. You see this bright blue blast from the end of your gun, and as this silver enchanted bullet hits this shadow, it disappears.
Oh, it just goes.
It just dies.
Nice. If I was to swing a punch at the other one as a bonus action, would it do anything?
There's one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. Let's give it a go.
Yes, let's.
Fuck it. If I take damage, I take damage. We live, we learn, we love, we laugh, we roll a natural 20 again.
Is that a nat 20? Nice. Cool. Okay. Sweet. Well, it definitely hits. You can definitely...
I punch a ghost.
You can definitely do damage.
Yes.
So it will be 1 and your strength modifier doubled.
As in, the total is doubled.
Let's say for this, yes. because it's funny.
Okay, so that's 10 damage in total.
That's 10 damage in total. Unfortunately, due to the fact it is a shadow, it is resistant to non-magical weapons, so it'll do 5 damage. But this was the injured one, and you have now bloodied it. With this punch, you see as you punch through it, your hand does go straight through, but you also kind of carry some of the shadow with it, and like this darkness just splatters against this the relief on the wall as this kind of shadow begins to seep down the wall and just sort of evaporate as this creature is now bloodied. Very well done.
Good. Do they bleed?
It's dripping shadow onto the floor. Yeah.
Oozing. Yeah, we love an ooze.
It's very oozy.
Sweet.
Up next is Gerhardt. You see, this time, now that you're next to this stone thrall, his eyes, his bright red eyes, just lock with you once again as he... You hear these pounding footsteps. He is leaving a trail of this dark blood behind him. As a bonus action, as he's running up to this thing, he's going to once again extend his hand out to the prisoners. Rodeo, you see as a different one begins to rise up from the ground. Would you like to spend your reaction again to try and stop this?
I would love to try and grab. Is it another...
Give me another athletics check
athletics check
as you try and dive onto this person.
That's not going to be quite as good this time. That is an 11.
11. This guy got a 13 on his check. So you go to dive and you're just... This thing is pulled away too quickly for you to get on this one. You see as this old man is pulled into this guy's grasp.
Not the old man!
As he's pulled into this guy's grasp, he grabs this guy's chest as he is walking up towards you, Thrall. You see as the life just drips off this guy onto this guy's gauntlets as once again he discards the flayed skeleton onto the ground. It's smoking with this kind of shadowy smoke as it is laying on the now unhallowed floor of this Selûnite temple. As he strolls towards you, you see this purple energy begin to emanate through him once again as he holds his large moon greatsword above his head. He's going to go for another multi-attack against you there, Kosif. First one's going to be a miss with a 10. Second one, that will be a hit with a 19 plus 5, so that will be a 24 on that second hit. You dodge out of the way of the second one, it beds itself in the floor. He pulls it up and in a reverse grip just clicks you underneath your, kind of on the underside of your armor. That's not a bad hit too. That's going to be 14 damage to you. That was the highest I've rolled on damage on him so far, by a long way too.
I'm bloodied.
Cool, that's his go. Up next is the one remaining shadow on you, Rodeo. It sees as you've tried to dive onto this guy, it now tries to dive onto you. And that is going to be a hit with a 19 on its strength drain. Cool, so it is going to deal... minimum damage. For 4 damage... but you also, your strength score is reduced by 2.
Is that permanent?
You're not sure yet, but
okay.
Thrall has experienced this very recently.
I think I've out of character. I think I've seen these things before, and I don't like them.
They're pretty nasty. So yeah,
they are horrible.
It's just your strength score. It's not your bonus to it. So like your pure strength score will go down by 2 for now.
Okay.
And that will be the shadows go. Thrall, you are up. You've got Gerhardt in your face once again. You are right by the Moonstone of Zadkia.
How far is the distance around the Moonstone?
You could do it in 10 feet of movement.
Okay. I am going to make an attack.
Haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to make an attack.
Okay.
First with the actually not with the power glove. So my right hand is the power glove, the thunder gauntlet.
Nice.
On my left hand, out of each of my fingers and thumbs will come a scalpel-like knife, which I will then use to slash at this. What the Gerhardt? That's
Gerhardt, yeah.
Which I get advantage because I'm less than half health, but I will use my disadvantage to cancel that.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Well, screw you, Patreons.
Straight roll. Thanks, Patreons. you fucks.
Oh, nat 20.
Nice. Hey, that's what we like to see. So what's the damage of your scalpel hand?
It's D4 piercing.
Cool. So that would just be a straight 4. Add your roll. Add your bonuses.
That's 5, and then bonuses will be 6. 6 damage.
Cool. Are you attempting the thing I think you're attempting here with this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Rodeo, you see as this thrall, just while you're in the middle of your own combat, you see your eye just naturally drawn to these two large figures fighting in the center of the room. And you see as so far, Thrall has been using this mighty thunder gauntlet. But something changes here as they pull out this different weapon from their other hand. These sharp blades sink into Gerhardt's chest. And you see this dark smoke begin to emanate from the wound. It carries over from that wound and travels up the length of Thrall's arm, and you see as this kind of like smoke once again begins to emanate a bit more healthily out of Thrall's form.
Then I will pull out the chalk.
Nice.
And do a little run around.
Cool. You will take an attack of opportunity with this again, as you run around the stone. But I think that's going to be a miss. With a 17, just misses you.
Yeah.
As you duck beneath the blow and just kind of carrying this, running around like Naruto style with chalk in one hand, as you draw this circle around the moonstone.
In plate armor.
In plate armor, indeed. As this circle completes, as you meet the chalk meets the other end of the chalk, as the two lines connect, you see this plain kind of white chalk. No, it was red chalk. Sorry, this red chalk that has drawn this circle around it. As soon as the two ends meet, begin to glow this bright blue energy, and from where the line started, you see this first rune flash up, and this line begins to slowly turn back to red as this first rune lights up, and it's going slowly around the circle as time progresses, almost as if it were a timer. As you have now started the ritual to take the moonstone from this place. Cool. You also see, actually, as well, as this circle completes, this sort of very faint bubble of magic. It's almost like when you're looking through a very thin layer of water, things are just kind of distorted ever so slightly. Through the refraction of it, you see it is now from where this chalk line, it's almost like domed as if it were inside a snow globe, and this black energy is now receding off of the moonstone there, as something you've done with the chalk here seems to be healing the moonstone here. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn? You've used movement and just your main action, I think, so far.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I don't think I have...
You're back. You're now.
I have magic stone. I'd have magic stone, don't I?
You do have magic stone. You're now back in Gerhardt's face as you've made the full 360 around the stone.
Oh, hello again.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yes, I'm gonna as going round with this chalk, grab a pebble, and
stone him.
As I'm 10 feet away on the other side, just as I see Gerhardt, I'm gonna fling, using the gauntlet, one of these stones at them. Range spell attacks. That's
nice.
What's that? That's non-natural 20.
Nice. That hits.
And so that will be rolling so many ones. 8 damage.
8 damage to Gerhardt. Cool. This stone, as you run back towards him, just before you get back into his face, just clangs off his helmet. You actually can pick up to 3 stones with that as well, I believe.
I'll grab 3 then, and just hit with 1.
Yeah, you'll have 2 left in your kind of hand, or just sort of tucked away in the armor somewhere. As the stone pings into him, deals. Sorry, was it 8 damage?
Yeah.
Nice, and he is not looking great here. As this stone clangs into him, you see as that actually took off part of his helmet, and you can see now the right side of his faceplate has just been knocked off by this magic stone, and you can see now it's also dislocated part of his jaw, which you can see is just this kind of skeletal, bright white face underneath there. All the flesh has already been drained off of his form underneath this armor. You see as this kind of dislocated jaw is hanging limp from this partial skeletal face you can now see from under this armor. So you're now back in his face. That's the end of your turn, unless you've got 20 feet of movement left, so you could move away again. He's already used his reaction, so you can move away from him if you really wanted to.
Oh yeah, I could do.
Yeah, he can't attack of opportunity you twice, so.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to stand 15 feet away.
Cool.
On the I guess, can I stand between me and where Rodeo is?
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of run about 10 feet back down the aisle, and then you move sort of 5 feet around a little bit, so it's now sort of there's a set of seats between you and Gerhardt that he'd have to climb over to get to you, and then there's 2 more rows to get to the back where Rodeo and the prisoners are.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep, that's all fine. Back to the top of his initiative count 20. You see as this the red line that is now replacing this glowing blue line progresses a little bit further. You now see as 4 runes in total are lit up. You would think you probably need to wait about another 3 rounds or so, whatever that is, 6 by 6 by 6. So another 18 seconds or so. You think this thing would be teleported away as this clock is slowly ticking around this moonstone. And that's initiative count 20 as Gerhardt looks towards you and kind of back towards the stone, back towards you, Thrall, and points his sword up to you as, "What have you done?" And then we'll move on down to Rodeo.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. You've got a very wounded shadow on you at the moment.
I do.
And Gerhardt looking at the 2 of you.
I do have a quick question.
Yes.
As you said earlier, my strength has been reduced.
Yes, indeedy.
However, the magic gauntlets that I have just make my strength 19.
You are
anyway.
You are effectively unaffected by their strength drain. The only way this will affect you in that case is if your strength score is reduced to 0, your natural strength score is reduced to 0, you will die.
I will die, yes,
but
understandable.
Other than that, if your score is just set to 19 by the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, they can't change that.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm slightly less concerned about what they can do to me now. I've got strength for days anyway, I don't give a shit. I want to fuck this guy up.
Cool.
So, because he's looking kind of bad now, isn't he?
He's looking pretty bad, yeah.
Shit, yeah.
A bit of his skull is missing.
Yeah, ooh, yeah. That's never good for anyone. So I'm going to take I'm going to aim a shot at him.
Nice. Wow.
That is dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
Ooh, that's maximum damage. So that's
nice.
18 points of damage.
Nice. How do you finish Gerhardt, leader of the Dark Moon Order?
I hit the other side of the helmet, so the whole thing comes off.
Nice. Yeah, you literally blow his head off as his head just kind of spins out of the kind of gorget of his armor. You see, just standing there for a moment, this massive suit of dark iron, as it then slowly falls onto its knees and then falls forward, landing about 5 foot in front of you, Thrall. Its kind of body crumpled across the pew that is in front of you. You see this purple energy begin to coalesce in a ball. The energy that he sucked out of the old man that you just saw him consume, as it coalesces into a ball, and you hear this piercing wail once again as bursting out of his form. Not what he had hoped to create, but something dark still, as you are once again met with a greater shadow, as this thing winds its way out of Gerhardt's form and looks at you and begins singing this foul song that you have heard once before, this wailing screech that gets inside your head that distracts you. While you can hear this, you are both going to be minusing a d4 from any ability checks or attack rolls, as this screech is just immensely disorienting, distracting, and quite painful to listen to as it echoes around this room. This kind of last gasp of Gerhardt stands before you. You also see at that point the shadow that was in front of you, Rodeo, pops out of existence.
Okay.
As its master.
One thing less to worry about.
Yes.
And one thing more.
Indeed. Cool. He is going to roll a new initiative here. Cool. Which means actually now, Thrall, you are going to be up, as this thing will be going just before Rodeo.
Okay. So at the moment we just have the shadow thing that's there.
Yep, the shadow that was fighting Rodeo has vanished as Gerhardt did, as Gerhardt died, I should say, and this greater shadow, very similar to the thing you fought in the town before, has just coalesced out of this purple energy that he had subsumed into his body.
I am going to, for an action, cast Cure Wounds.
Cool.
So you see it as similarly to what happened with the claw thing, the armor, like this kind of reddish, smoky mist, starts to exhume from the armor as you kind of hear like almost like pressurized gas or liquid move through, and yeah. Perfect, and that is then that will heal that much, which is a very good amount. So now looking very, very healthy. Then one of the stones will then be like cast out from my armor again for another magic stone.
Nice. Roll me a hit roll.
That is 24 to hit.
24 certainly hits this shadow. As you learned in your last combat, not a high AC on these things.
Again, I'm going to change that die. That's 8 damage.
Cool. You deal 8 damage.
And I will stay where I am.
Cool, yeah, just behind that one. So it's about 10 feet in front of you here. As Rodeo, you are up. No, sorry, the shadow is actually up now. Rodeo, you are on deck. The shadow is going to shadow step through the darkness and is actually going to come up to you, Rodeo. As you see it just step out of the darkness of the wall behind you as it vanishes from in front of you. This whole place, due to the darkness being cast, is in shadow here, so it has free roam of this place as you see it just move from shadow to shadow. And it's going to attempt its own version of Strength Drain upon you, which I think is going to miss anyway. Yeah, it misses with a 14, so it steps out of the shadow. You hear this kind of wail that precedes it, which actually, thankfully, gives you warning enough to move out of the way as you kind of dodge behind and out of the way of this thing as it comes out of the wall towards you. You are now up. You also see, actually, before it would have gone, another 4 runes have lit up around the circle, this red line continuing to go around the moonstone. Yeah, Rodeo, you're up. Thrall, you're on deck.
Sorry, I kind of lost the connection there.
Oh, no worries. Rodeo, you're up.
Yeah.
Thrall, you're on deck. You've got a greater shadow in front of you.
Still very much all up in my business.
It's very up in your business now.
It's so up in my business. Well, we know what we're going to do.
I think I've got a good idea.
You want to take a guess? You want to take a big old swing and guess? I'm going to use the point of inspiration that you gave me earlier.
Nice.
because that was not going to do it. Oh, that's so much better. I should know these numbers by now. +8, that is a 17.
17 certainly hits. Unlike the other shadow, though, you see as this bullet hits it, and while it definitely hurts it, doesn't just disapparate it like it did with the standard shadows. Roll your damage here. But instead, this time, add 2d4s to the roll as you hit this shadow with your
as well that I dropped the d4 on the floor, isn't it? There we go. So that's 6, 16, 20.
Nice. 20 damage.
Yeah.
Lovely job. As this bullet certainly hits the mark here, you hear this piercing wail just fill your body as this thing is right in front of you. Sorry, you should have had a -d4 to that roll, but it wouldn't have mattered. You still would have hit, even if I'd rolled maximal on that, so it doesn't matter. But we'll remember that going forward, as it only has an AC of 13. That's your go, unless you've got a bonus action you'd like to do. Or movement. Did you cut out again? James? Oh no.
James?
Oh no. James? I think we may have lost James briefly there. Oh no.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
We can hear you. That's very interesting.
Weird.
Well, anyway, we'll come back to Jams if they can hear us again.
No, I'm here again.
You can hear us again? Yay!
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet today. I'm very sorry.
No worries. Bonus action or movement with your turn.
If I was to move, it would be that thing again.
It certainly has this reaction, so it could.
I don't think there's any point me trying to move, because if I'm at the opposite side of the room to where Thrall is with the chalk circle, I am at least providing a distraction.
Indeed.
I don't think there is anything I can do as a bonus action at the moment.
Other than punching it, I would say.
Oh, yeah, I'll punch it for free.
Nice. Hit it with those ogre gauntlets.
I will. It's just a d20 plus my strength.
Just a d20 plus your strength to hit there, unless you're proficient with unarmed.
Not currently, no.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
So that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 still, minus d4 won't matter still, but that would have been only a 16 due to its scream, but that still hits. So you deal your 1 damage plus your strength. Which... hello? Yes.
Say that again.
You hit, so it's just going to be 1 damage plus your strength.
Then that's 5 damage.
Nice.
I assume halved to 2.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you. Absolutely right there. But with that hit, you have now bloodied this creature. As you see this this dark kind of shadow begin to pour off this creature, pooling on the ground, creating this almost dark puddle beneath it. Thrall, you are up. This thing is about 10 feet away from you, but you'd probably take about 20 feet of movement to climb over the pews and stuff to get to it.
Okay, yeah. Before I start moving, I'll throw my final stone as my bonus.
Nice. Hit him.
Which is a 19.
A 19. Okay, that definitely minus d4 from that. Down to 18, still hits.
Okay, so that is 1d6 plus. So that's nice. I'm going to stop using the other die. That's 13 damage.
Woo! Nicely done. That pretty strong hit definitely blows another part of this shadow away as you begin to clamber over the pews, getting towards it. You'll get.
And as I get there, I'll use my Thunder Gauntlet again.
Nice.
You'll hear it power up, and that might not be right. That's a 14. So it's gonna miss.
You got lucky. It's minus 1 to 13, which is its AC.
Oh,
very
thank
nice.
God. So that would be. I'm gonna use a different EA because I don't trust this dice anymore. Oh, well, all dice are cursed, I guess. So that's 6 damage. 6 thunder damage.
6 damage. How do you kill this greater shadow?
Just like kind of tripping a little bit, like after getting over the pew, just like pull the fist over, which just about hits it, but as it hits, the thunder just like explodes out.
You all hear this as the thunder gauntlet kind of arrives inside that shadow and bursts it apart. You're all kind of hit in the face by this, what feels like liquid at first. This darkness just kind of covers you very briefly, and then it kind of drips off you and then just evaporates out into the sky. You see as the air above, through the glass roof of this very beautiful church that you're currently in, slightly destroyed now, but still very beautiful. You see above you through this glass roof as the sky slowly begins to clear. Actually, from the church outwards, you see these dark clouds begin to almost blow away in the wind quicker than they should naturally. As 6 more seconds pass, you see as the circle completes itself, the red now once again meeting the red at the beginning, these runes making a complete circle around this moonstone, as you see this shaft of blue light just crash down through, making this kind of audible noise. The glass roof above you still intact. It doesn't shatter this at all. This light just flowing straight through it, kind of. You see for a brief second as this kind of dark room, almost as if some tracing paper had been over reality, as you see another place kind of translucent over where the central area of this room should be, as 2 places almost begin to merge for just a moment. This shaft of light disappears, and there is just a smoking hole in the center of this church where the moonstone used to be.
Is that supposed to happen?
Yes, I'm assuming so.
You feel at that point as well, Thrall, as this kind of bling, 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 as the transpositioning stone in your pocket begins to, and Rodeo, you can see this too, this thing in kind of the one pouch of the armor that Thrall is wearing, this kind of blue light is beginning to pulsate in time with this sound, this bling, 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 bling.
I grab the stone. I forgot how to activate it.
You grab the stone?
Yeah.
It does it for you. As you grab the stone, both of you, from where you are in the room, begin to see as this dark smoke begins to coalesce around the 2 of you. Rodeo, you see for the first time this quick flash of runes kind of spiral around your feet for but just a moment. As you kind of travel through this dark realm once again, you kind of breathe in as you're in a very familiar place now. Just on a side street near Dr. Gore's place in the Undermountain, you can see before you the softly glowing sign of Dr. Gore's place. Some letters once again removed, so it just reads Dr. Gore. And you can see actually just inside a few of your friends kind of moving around the inside of the building there as you arrive in the dark streets of the Undermountain, where you had not exactly where you had left from originally, but pretty close by. As Thrall, you pop back into Doomspire Keep with not really knowing exactly if everything you were supposed to do went off, and then you kind of look around to the kind of center of this study that you have arrived back into, Kelthar's study, and you see, now no longer buried, you see this moonstone is even bigger than you thought. Another 7 feet of it must have been buried in the ground or so, only about half of it poking out of the surface. As you see lying on this ground, still with the dais that had been built around it, kind of dirty now from the earth that it had been embedded in, just lying here on the center of the floor. Very out of place, it seems to be, in the center of this large, dark, wooden floor that is Kelthar's study. You kind of slump to the ground after that heavy combat. And you look down and you see something was brought with you. As you see this enormous greatsword lying at your feet with this dark crescent moon-shaped blade, almost half in, like a semicircle, half encircling you as you plonk down to the ground here. Wounded? but successful, as you have gained a Moonstone of Zadkir for your master. Rodeo as well, something you notice fairly immediately as you land is, as well as the map and the pouch of ammunition that you got, you also find 3 platinum pieces upon your person. And I think, so that we don't get ahead of the main timeline, that's where we're going to call the session for today. And yeah, thank you guys both very much for playing. That was a very fun little combat to play out. You both did very, very well. Both killed a big thing as well, which was very fun. And yeah, we will be back with Big Ellseworld this evening in approximately probably like 2 to 3 hours or so, probably nearly 5, so like about 2 hours or so we'll be back with Big Ellseworld. So stay tuned to Heroes Grove, and you can see the full Ellseworld party back in action for the first time in a little while, so that should be a good one. But thank you very, very much to my players for playing. Thank you very much to the patrons for patroning with our disadvantages and crit successes. That certainly made a big impact.
That 20, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He went down pretty nicely because of that. So yeah, good job all around there. Thank you so much for playing, and we'll be back soon with Jams and the rest of the gang. And next time someone's gone, you'll be seeing some more of Thrall, I'm quite sure. But yeah, for now, I've been Elliot. We've been Heroes Grove. Thank you very, very much. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Take a long rest.
Take a long rest. I almost forgot.
Take a long rest. Stay grovy.
Stay grovy.